to each other in close proximity around a campfire late into the night. I'm sure much to the chagrin of many unwilling audiences over the years, so hopefully this is at least a little bit better, but I don't really care. This is about Patrick and how he's great. So, I became friends with Patrick during freshman year of high school. I think we initially bonded over the fact that I was super into things and Patrick was super down to get into those same things too. We had an assignment in English class to do some sort of oral presentation, so Patrick and I lectured the class about the greatness of Canadian rock band Rush. The girls in the class were especially enraptured, I think. This wasn't a passing fancy either. 14 years later, Pat flew out to LA and we attended Rush's last concert ever. It was great. Thanks for Rush, most importantly. The summer after freshman year, Patrick came on a family vacation with me to Orcas Island in the San Juans. And it was around then that he was reading Lord of the Rings for the first time, which was a very natural progression after a Rush. I remember vividly late nights in our tents talking about the books underneath the stars, and it was maybe then that I found out how much fun it is to experience like a creative work with Patrick and watch him just get super excited about something. He approaches it with just an infectious amount of enthusiasm and joy that has really enhanced my life throughout the years. To this day, I'll listen to a particularly good podcast episode, for example, and my first thought will be, I gotta text Patrick to get his reaction, which is always basically that he's listened to it and loved it. In any case, after that Orcas trip, Patrick was solidly entrenched in our group of friends. At a certain point, he started being referred to as the mom of the group due to his abilities to organize us into semi-coherent plans and to safely cook basic meals. Not screw up the mac and cheese. What we've subsequently discovered over the years is that Patrick is a badass mom. For one thing, Patrick is consistently down to hang out tough.
Oh yeah. Loves hanging out tough.
Hanging out tough. In college, Pat signed up for Journey of Hope, which is a summer-long bike ride, as in bicycle ride, literally across the country to raise money for charity. That's already badass in itself, but would Patrick let a little thing like training to ride a bike across the entire goddamn country get in the way of quality hangout time with his buddies? No, sir. He was hanging out tough into the early morning hours of the day he was flying to San Francisco to start the ride, planning to, quote, train on the first few legs of the ride. He would later remark that this plan nearly backfired on the long and hilly early days of the trip when he considered tapping out of the whole thing. But in the end, he crossed the finish line in style, completing the trek and still maximizing his hangout time that summer. One side note from the Journey of Hope trip is that it reveals another trait about Patrick I really like, and that's his love of life's little rituals. Similar to the way that he permanently stained his infamous mac and cheese pan over the years, filling it with the exact same volume of water. Every day on Journey of Hope, Pat would adjust his spandex shorts to the exact same spot on his legs in order to get the worst or best, I guess, perfect tan line. And I remember later over Christmas, he was showing off this tan line, and I was impressed by how pronounced it was, 6 months later. Oh, no, Patrick corrected me. That was actually 18 months later. Journey of Hope had been 2 summers previous. So before I finish, I want to tell one last anecdote, and relating back to my earlier thesis that Patrick is great in part because he gets real into stuff. So this story, I don't even think it's true, but it's kind of stuck in my mind, and it comes from a time when Pat was single and going on a few dates with nothing really developing. And I remember him saying something like, "I don't get it, man. I've been telling my dates how tight Rush, Zelda, and Lord of the Rings are." So, even if that never happened exactly like that, you can see the type of world that Brittany was walking into when she met Patrick. But what's great about Pat and Brittany, though, is that they aren't together because Brittany likes all the same things as Patrick. I mean, that'd be weird if she had the taste of a 14-year-old boy. She's clearly her own person with her own views and tastes. And you know she's a badass, too, because she's from Alaska. But what I see, at least, is that Brittany appreciates that aspect of Pat's personality, his capacity to love things so totally, and with his own unique brand of earnestness. You know, he's not jaded at all. And really, that was evident from their first date. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as stoked on a relationship as Patrick has been. And so, really, as happy as I was to see that capacity applied to Rush freshman year of high school, I'm happier still to see it now in Patrick and Brittany's relationship and between the two of them. Love you guys. Cheers to Patrick.